Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of Not a Linux Guru Guy channel. Today we're going to look at Ubuntu. Old classic. Somewhat a standard operating system a lot of people started out on back in the day. We'll take a look at it right after the intro. So today we're going to be taking a look at Ubuntu, the old standard. A lot of this was the original new user platform. Most of us, many people started out with Ubuntu back, especially back in around the early to mid to late 2000s. Yeah, a lot of people started out with that as a new user platform. So how good it actually is as a new user platform, find out today. So we're going to take a look at this, and I guess I really don't have much to say about it other than it's been a standard for a long time. Kind of fallen in popularity of late, last several years, and but it's still a popular desktop. Still one that a lot of people like to turn to. They just want something to work out of the box. We'll see how good it compares to all the others that we've been reviewing. So let's go over to the website and see how easy to navigate that puppy. Okay, now you're looking at the website. Got a strange kubeflow operations guide here. Not really a part of what we're looking at, but it's just kind of strange it's there, I guess. It's an Ubuntu.com site, so we know we're at the right spot. It's Ubuntu and download, but click over here. It's kind of strange it's talking about something that's, I guess it's somewhat related. I've not heard of this before, kubeflow. Well, let's look what we got in download and see what options you have here. Okay, there's Ubuntu Desktop, which most of us would download, unless you have a reason to download a server. So let's see what else we got here. So what we're going to download, it's got the GNOME Desktop on it. And trying to see, I know they have other versions of it, but I don't see them. Oh, there they are. Ubuntu flavors. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, which is actually the one I originally started out using on a consistent basis every day, was Ubuntu. Ubuntu Bungie, Ubuntu Kalen, Ubuntu Mate, Ubuntu Studio, and Xubuntu. So that's no version of Ubuntu. And those Neon is probably more considered the standard, because that's like the primary KDE desktop plasma from Ubuntu. But Ubuntu's they got the LXQT or LXD desktop environment. Bungie, of course, has Bungie. Kane, of course, has Kane. Mate, of course, has Mate. Studio is kind of a big bulking mess of programs. A lot of them seem to duplicate each other, but it's all for the creative person. It's called Studio, like you're in a studio or something, creating content like this. And Xubuntu, which uses XSCE desktop. That's the second one I used. So I got Ubuntu and Ubuntu. I did remember installing Ubuntu originally back in the day, say about around mid 2000, 2004, 2006, and it seemed like at the time I didn't really, my primary job was bookkeeping, and I used QuickBooks a lot, and there's no way to get QuickBooks to operate in Linux short of, and I didn't have any computer big enough to do a virtual desktop back then. So yeah, I had to stick with Windows at the time, even though I was tempted to go with Ubuntu and stuff like that, but I said, well, I installed it, played around with it, and said, okay, I can do this now. I know how to install the sucker. It seems to work with what I have, so I had to stick with Windows at the time because my work and job and stuff like that. Suppose if I had money back then, I could have probably gotten myself another computer and installed Linux on it and played around with it more. But hey, srah, that's life, huh? So anyway, we have the 20.04 long-term support GNOME desktop. That's what it standard comes out. So that's what we downloaded. That's what we're going to take out now. So here we are at my desktop screen, and you see the big cat in there. The strange little dots coming out of its eyes. I guess looking at something over there. At any rate, that's Ubuntu. This is what Ubuntu looks coming out of the box. It's got the big fat icons over there on the sidebar. Got the bar on the side instead of down the bottom or the top, which some people probably like that, I guess, but I personally prefer it. And if I was going to tweak this to my own specifications, I'd probably move the sidebar around. Maybe probably on the bottom, maybe the top, but we'll see. Right now it's got the other bar on the top, which has got all those other things in it. It's got the activities, and any programs you open up will appear up in that top bar. The controls for it. So yeah. So anyway, we got this is a GNOME desktop, which I'm not that crazy about, but it is what it is. And I guess I'd probably work to see if I can install some different desktop on it or something. If I had it, or I'd probably use a different desktop than GNOME, but if I was going to use Ubuntu, but I wanted to use the flagship version of each distro, so here I am with the GNOME. So I'm not as familiar with this desktop as some other people probably are, but yeah, I know it's very similar to Pop OS's desktop they have. So although Pop OS looks more like they use a docking app on the bottom, on the side, instead of a panel app. That's a big difference there, visually at least. And went through the install. I'm not going to show that here because it's just a next type thing. Things you've seen probably 1,000 times before. If there's anything odd or strange about it, I would tell you about it or show you. But nothing strange. It installed pretty easy. No problems there. It was usually kind of spec down. Ubuntu has a lot of, it's got Firefox, Thunderbird, so we got checked off the web and the email client. It's also got the files for File Manager. Which you see that you have to come down here to show applications, and it does this nifty thing over here, which is nifty. That's about as far as nifty I like about it. I hate having to scroll down. I hate having to click on stuff and see everything. But yeah. And anyway, it's got Thunderbird, as I said before. It's got videos, VLC. So you got two options to play videos and that kind of thing. And it's got Rhythm Box, I think, yeah, right there, Rhythm Box for its music player. And it's got, yeah, so that covers all the main things, I think. Got media player, music player, file manager, email client, web browser. And it's got settings for this, that, and the other thing. So anyway, program availability. It's got a Ubuntu software over here, which I'm okay with as far as it goes, but I think there's some issue with it that I don't like, because I went over here to do search for OBS when I was getting ready to install OBS on here, and this is one of the things you have to be careful of. Oops. OBS Studio popped in, and it popped right there. And I went down here, opened it up. It looks like a standard program that comes out of repositories, right? In fact, you can scroll down here. I don't see anything says anything about where it comes. Oh, now this is a community supported modified build of OBS Studio. Please file issues on the Snapcrafters GitHub. Snapcrafters, which made me wonder if the snap of OBS Studio comes preloaded. So this is Snap. I don't even have an option to install it out of the out of the repositories. I had to install it. I had to go do it on the command line for the terminal. Which is neither here nor there. I can do that pretty easy, but yeah, I wanted to do it all GUI like, but the only GUI option they have here is a snap. I'm not really wanting to get into snaps that much. I could have installed it to see what happened, see if it was good, worked, but when something I know worked, and I wasn't ready to go to snaps. I don't think you can disable this very easily in here either. So that's how that works. You can browse that at your leisure if you download OBS Studio. OBS. I mean Ubuntu. I get it right one of these times. Ubuntu Studio is actually a distro that you can download as well. So yeah, so it checks off that. Now printer is function. Yeah, printer, you can go down here. Now if you hit your Windows key, it'll pop this up. It just shows you what's currently running, which is my my OBS right there. But then you start typing up here. On the printer. OBS on the mine apparently. So there's printer settings. Go there. Pops up there, and this had it out of the box installed already for me when I opened it up. It was there sitting there waiting for me. I ran a test page on it to make sure it worked, and it worked. So I didn't have to do anything to set my printer at all. It just popped right in. Boop. So that's nice. Now the keyboard shortcut setup, so you see keyboards right down here. Yeah, it's keyboard shortcuts. You also have your Windows Manager shortcuts in a separate spot. I'll show you these first. Yeah, it says all your likes of Window Manager, all the shortcuts appear here apparently. You have your launching shortcuts here. I changed some of these. What you're looking at here probably won't come out of the box this way for you, but I entered Super B for web browser, Super Return for terminal, that kind of thing. Just standard for a lot of window managers, but then you have all these ones. I played around with it a bit. You know, window managers for the most part seem to work okay. So I played around with it a bit. So anyway, it gets pretty good score on the keyboard shortcuts, and they're a little bit more organized than they were in the last meeting, the last one we looked at, Peppermint. And you have all these table now. It's easy. So if I wanted to say I wanted to eject, I could do click on it, and then you just type in your key. Like so for that, say so I wanted to do try Control Alt Super E. Those three keys on the bottom. Boom, boom, boom. And then you set it, and you see it's right there now. Now, if I had like I do have I got a transfer SD card in here, so we'll see how this works. Hey, it just ejected it, just like that. Boom. Yeah, I mean, let me look for those on other ones too. It's kind of cool. So yeah, you can set up your own key bindings on here. There's different things that you want to do in here, and run it however you want it to run. Yeah, and then you can add them down here at the very bottom. And you got this little plus bar. I had a LibreOffice Writer in there. It worked pretty good. Super W. Boom. The should pop up LibreOffice right there. Coming up for you. There it is. Nice, huh? So those are the key bindings, and then the themes and wallpaper. Now that's where it runs into some problems. The wallpaper and themes are up here toward the top. Background is what they call it for wallpapers. That's it. Those are your options. Of course, you can probably add picture up here. You can select your pictures and wallpapers. Anyway, we'll cancel out of that. These are the standard wallpapers it has. That's the cat. If I wanted to go with this wallpaper, I just click on this and it automatically pops on there that way. And then the one that you're showing is the current one is one here on top. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. The appearances is where they put the themes at in here. And there's just 3 options. You have light, standard, and dark. It's on standard. I want to go dark, I can do a dark like that. You also auto hide the dock, which goes in and out, I guess. Which I probably would do if I want to keep it on the side, or even if I want to keep that big. Usually when you reduce icon size, it reduces panel size then too. Let's see if that happens. Yes, it does. So you can reduce the size of those down so they're not so big and bulky and in the way as much. Whatever you desire on that. And you can change the position of it on here. So if I want it on the bottom, you notice it didn't have an option on the top because I already got something on the top. So yeah, I go down here. Okay, it only unlap when you don't have windows on it. It's kind of bad in a way. Updating on here is pretty easy. I did it when I first came on. And updated thing. There's the dock down here. Updating software updates. Software updates. Ubuntu software like that. So here. And this will tell you whether you have any updates or not. There's your Ubuntu software. All stuff. Oh, I see. So is that. This is where you say you do edit your repositories if you another thing like that if you want to. But I had another idea in mind. I suppose this one right here is this updater. Oh, same thing. Interesting. So how do you update on this puppy, I wonder? Yeah, it automatically popped up when it popped up the information when it was updates. You can just click on it and you ran with it, but I'm not sure if you want to check for updates or something like that. I'm not sure how you do that. Let's one more time. Probably it's in software, I guess. Let's open this back. Yeah, updates. Software is up to date, so there's nothing to update. So that's where it's at. It's in Software Center, like a lot of them are. We've looked at on here. So that's Ubuntu. Yeah, programs are okay. I mean, you can bring up most any program just by hitting the Windows button and typing in what you want, like most Windows managers or most Windows menus you can do on Linux. I know Cinnamon you can do that with. You can do it with install Rofi. You could do it with Rofi or whatever your heart desires you can throw in here. So yeah, you can do that. Oh, I like Cinnamon's better. I can just hit the Windows button, type it in, boom, it's right there, just like Rofi. Not much difference really, other than it just looks prettier, looks nicer or something, whatever you want to call it. So this is Ubuntu, and we'll go take a look at the spreadsheet. Okay, here we are back at the spreadsheet, and you can see we all gnomes for scores over here. You got a 10 on website navigation. Although if you're looking for one of the flavors, it's a little hidden a bit. Not really hidden, but it's sort of hidden. It's not just out there saying, hey, we got these other flavors over here, look over here. You have to kind of hunt for it a bit. I really probably should get that a 9 at least, not a straight 10. But as far as downloading the main flagship, it was easy enough to get to it, figure out what to do, and do it. So I'm gonna leave it at 10. Can't really fault them for that. This isn't about looking for flavors, so you can download the GNOME desktop. You can get it. Correct the window. All right, so we have in the ease of installation. We installed easy enough. Straight next, and it processed everything. Everything got thrown in right off the bat. No problems with the install whatsoever. So that's 10. Now the guided tour, it had a guided tour, but it lacked a little bit, just here and there. And I don't remember exactly what the problem was on it, but yeah, didn't really have it. But had a guided tour, or a welcome, but not a lot of one. So anyway, web browser had 2. We had matter of fact, all these programs, they had all of them in there. As you just saw. I think that's a 10 out of the box on installed programs that people tend to use a lot. Program availability, I gave it a 9, pretty standard, keeping with all the rest of them. Yeah, because you got GNOME. Actually, it probably is a little bit better in some ways. It had snaps on there, but same snaps that LX Mint has available to it. If you out of the box, you have to go in and disable the locking on it and all that kind of stuff, but then install it. But it does have Flatpaks installed out of the box, I believe. So, yeah, quibble about that and fight over that, but I just gave it all a 9. Most all these have 9s on them. A couple have 10s, like Manjaro and MX Linux, which impressed me. 10 because it's Arch-based. 10 here because it impressed me being able to download and install Adobe Reader right on their thing. Anyway. For setting up printer, it was just easy sneezy. Just go there and print. Nothing to set up, so it's 10 on that. Now on the keyboard shortcuts, I gave it an 8. Not a perfect 10, but it's still pretty decent. You can go in there and set up shortcuts however your heart desires or whatever you want, pretty much. And they work for the most part. I don't remember any that didn't work. Some window managers are a little iffy, but yeah. So anyway, it seemed to work pretty good, and so I gave that an 8. Now, themes, wallpapers. Now you can look at this here one of 2 ways. They only had 3 options for theming. They didn't have any other options for theming and stuff. Now, I don't know if there's a way to hack into it and do it, but just out of the box, yeah, you couldn't theme it very easily. And any other thing other than those 3 standard ways to look at it. Now, if you install a Cinnamon version or a KDE version, you have options on themes on those. So the GNOME version was lacking in that regard. Plus, it didn't have very many wallpapers on it. Had a few. They were decent. Nothing really stood out and said, wow, look at that. And nothing I would probably install necessarily just for the theme or the wallpaper for sure. So, yeah, so I gave that a 4. It's kind of down there a bit. But 10 on updating, it's updated, standard updater, it updates pretty well. And 10 on the ease of menus and activating programs. So it ended up with a score of 89. That's one of the higher ones. Falls right behind Linux Mint as number 2 spot so far. And you'd almost expect that with GNOME. I mean, with Ubuntu being what it is and its history and stuff. Expect it to be work well and have everything together and have it all out of the box pretty much working. Yeah, the themes and only having 3 themes, the benefit of that is that you don't have to worry too much about your user screwing up your system by putting themes on it that aren't quite compatible with your system. So there's 2 ways to look at that, but I just chose the ability to theme it however you wanted is one of the options that new users might want coming out of the box. So this is out of the box stuff here. 89 is a score for Ubuntu. Now let's go take a chat. Alright, so that's Ubuntu, and we like it pretty much, I think. I think, I could live with it if I had to, but not my preference, personally. But it may be somebody else's preference. And it will work. But, yeah, if you don't care that much about theming, it's a good distro. So anyway, that's Ubuntu. And I hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, make sure you go down and click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll know when I put out new video content. Since I'm not on a set standard schedule, just make it when I'm able to make it. And I've been putting these out pretty quick, and I got 2 more to go. So we've got 2 new distros to review next time, and then we'll be done with the series and the new user links reviews, at least unless somebody throws another one out there and says you need to review this one for new users. So yeah, if you do that, or somebody puts out, there'll be another one. But until then, we have 2 more to go. That's we're going to review Macaluca Lindos next time, and after that, we'll review one probably not too many people have heard about, Neptune OS. Because I like Neptune, my favorite planet in the solar system. Anyway, we'll do that one. So I look forward to that, and I'm sure I hope you do too. Till next time, may the Linux Force be with you. Bye.